everyone, History Mystery Man coming to you today from Tell City, Indiana, the county seat for Perry County, a pretty little town, small town right on the Ohio River, and fairly renowned for the historic buildings throughout, including the one behind me, City Hall, built in 1896. The town is, of course, named after William Tell, the Swiss hero and liberator. You remember William Tell, right? The guy that the feudal warlords of the day, they made him shoot an apple off his son's head. That William Tell, that would be the guy. But this is a really cool little town. I want to just spend a little time here today as a starting point. I don't really have any fixed agenda today. Just going to kind of play it by ear, probably migrate up the Ohio River toward Troy, Ohio. That's where Abraham Lincoln and his family first crossed over into Indiana from Kentucky. They would spend the next 14 years of their life here in southern Indiana, Spencer County. In fact, there's a state park, a boyhood home for Abraham Lincoln up that way as well. I might even get there today too. Not sure, just playing it by ear, but I'm sure glad you're along for the ride. Welcome aboard. Let's go have a big time. By the way, Tell City, Indiana was founded in 1858. I love the way these small towns capture their history and heritage. The Modern was once a dry goods store, a men's and women clothing store as well, built in 1898. A picture out front of how it used to be. And of course, that's how it looks today. I love the way they capture that. Try to go around and find out, what's charming and what's cool about small towns. And I find that each small town has its own vibe. Are you from? Oh, no, okay. All right. I got, thanks for the direction. I mean, I'm just in love with small, by the way, this house is beautiful. All right. I want to talk. Well, do you want to be on YouTube?
No, I do.
No, you do. Okay. How long have you lived in Tell City, Indiana?
Well, all my life, except for when I got married and we moved to Evansville.
But you spent the most of your time here.
In this house.
This house?
I grew up in this house.
You grew up in this house?
Yes.
That's so cool. How old is this house?
It was built in 1910.
Wow. That's prior to World War I.
Oh, yes.
God, if this is one of those if these walls could talk things.
How thick are they?
Yeah, how thick are they?
Well, this is solid brick, 13 inches thick.
It's fascinating. 13 inches thick?
Uh-huh.
The memories you must have growing up in this house.
Well, I'm in the middle of writing a story about growing up in this house.
Really? And where are you gonna try to publish the story?
Oh, no, it's just for my family.
Oh, how interesting. What's it like been growing up in Tell City, Indiana?
Well, much different than Toledo, that's for sure.
I'm sure of that. I think it's a charming little town. How do you see it?
Oh, I do too. We have no problems with anything.
Do you feel safer in a smaller town like Tell City?
Yes, I do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes. My parents did not worry if we were out after dark. I had friends that lived 4 or 5 blocks away, and we would be out, not real late, but after dark, and they didn't worry.
No.
Nobody worried about anything like that.
Yeah.
And we could go several, back then, you didn't have your McDonald's and your bigger chains. You just had your restaurants that you went to.
Or you prepared your food right here in this house.
Oh, yes. My mother had a chicken stump out in the backyard.
Oh, really?
She killed her own chickens.
Were your parents lived in this home before you did then for many years?
They bought the house in 45.
Wow, okay.
And I was 6 years old at the time. And I had twin brothers. And we moved in here. And at the time they moved in, my parents were the youngest family on the block. And when they passed away, they were the oldest people on the block.
That is so interesting.
And so this house is has actually only been owned by 2 different families.
Wow. I bet it's fabulous inside. And don't.
I even had a chance to, my dad worked for GE, and Ronald Reagan came in 1955.
He came to Tell City, Indiana.
He was the representative for the General Electric television show.
Well, and this was way before he was governor, obviously.
Oh, yeah, right. It was in 55, and my dad was the personnel manager at GE, and so he was the one that escorted Ronald Reagan.
That's
and
interesting.
My brothers and I got to go and meet him and get his autograph, have
Wow.
our picture taken with him.
Do you still have the picture?
I sure do. You want to see it?
Could I? I'll wait out here patiently on the front porch.
You can come in.
What a beautiful home you have. Oh, Lord. That is Ronald Reagan. When he was here, you said in 1955?
55.
And are you in the shop?
Right here. That's me.
That's you? Cool. Did he sign it? Did you sign
Oh,
it?
yes. Right here. To Anne. And then he's...
Is that also you?
Yes.
Oh.
In 55.
Wow. 1955. You got to hang with Ronald Reagan. That's so cool. I'm fascinated by your home. All walnut woodworking.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh, the memories you have in this home must be incredible. Oh, Lord. Thank you so much.
Laugh at me because, see, this is all brick.
That you said that's solid brick all the way through.
Solid brick.
And how thick is it?
13 inches.
13 inches. Okay, I know we already went through that. I had
My kids all laugh at me when I tell people that.
This home isn't coming down in the next windstorm.
No. See the doorbell?
Oh, wow. Now, what is that ringing? Is that pulling on the cable that rings a bell? Is that what that is?
The bell is in here.
Oh.
And it runs. See, you couldn't go through here, so they went through the door
wood,
face.
because I couldn't get through 13 inches of brick. A mechanical doorbell. That is so cool.
Everybody loves the doorbell.
I love the doorbell. I love your home. But the fence was going to get basically thrown away, but your parents saved it and put it around their home. Saved it. That's really cool.
So
story.
it's really a nice accent to the house.
It's beautiful.
And
I love it.
So.
Yes. I know. I'm a geek. I'm a history geek.
Well.
Sorry.
She's supposed to put my story together when I ever get it finished.
Well, let's get busy here. Let's get this done.
I keep telling
chop. But how neat living in the home you grew up in Tell City, Indiana. That in itself is a story, and that's a story you should write.
I am.
I'm so glad to hear it.
And I am a member of the Historical Society, and every now and then when they don't have a program, they tell me to bring some of my information, and and I read part of my story.
Well, do you spend a lot of time swinging on that front porch?
We do anymore.
Guys are real swingers, aren't you? I can tell. Okay. Listen, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Well, you're welcome.
Can you hear those church bells? Might be a little too far away. They sound so cool. It reminds me I'm in small town America. Welcome to the Tell City Chair Company, founded in 1865. There's not a lot left from the old building, but I think it's interesting that the city cares about its history this much that it's preserved a little nook and cranny from the old building. The Tell City Chair Company, furniture of which made its way around the world, including furniture that once lived in the White House. It all happened here in Tell City, Indiana. That's cool. How long have you been in Tell City, Indiana?
Oh, I've been here since, I was born in 34.
1934.
Yep, October 5th, 1934.
You're looking pretty sporty for 1934, mister. And how long have you been in Tell City?
Since about early 40s.
Yeah, but this is home for you, right?
Yeah, this is my home.
Does it still feel like home for you?
Oh, yeah.
Do you feel safe in Tell City, Indiana?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? Cool. It's a neat city on the Ohio River.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time down here. Me and my wife, of course. Now she goes to bingo, and we spend a lot of time here behind the flood wall.
Do you really?
Yeah,
Just watching the river traffic?
yeah,
Yeah. Hey, well, thanks for talking with me. I appreciate it.
yeah, yeah. This is my life here.
This is your life. It's a good life.
Yeah.
I like
Okay, I'll
it.
get back to you
Thank you.
later.
Thank you, sir. One of the things I love about small town America are the secrets you discover when you're here. Like I learned today that the gentleman who lived in this home and built that home is the same guy here in Tell City, Indiana, who sculpted these beautiful lions on the lawn of City Hall. That's just a really cool hometown, homegrown story. You just can't find this stuff anywhere else. Welcome to Anderson Creek, where it meets the mighty Ohio River, and it was here where Abraham Lincoln and his family ferried across the Ohio River from Kentucky into Indiana for the first time, December of 1816. Lincoln was just 7 years old. They would make their home in Indiana for the next 14 years. It was also here, right here at Anderson Creek, where Lincoln labored for a gentleman by the name of James Taylor, farm work and a lot of odds and ends. And he also built rafts and skiffs. And one of his jobs was to leave Anderson Creek here and ferry passengers out to steamers that were going by. And the first time he did that, the gentleman he took out to a steamer tossed back onto his raft or rowboat $1, a silver dollar. And Lincoln, at just 16 years old in 1825, could hardly believe that he earned $1 in a day. And it was at that time that Lincoln said the world seemed fairer and wider. Yeah. What do you live around here?
Yeah, I got a couple houses right down here on the river.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And you didn't know that Abraham Lincoln crossed on a ferry here from Kentucky into Indiana?
No, I didn't.
You know now, though, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Does that make it more? Does that make it more interesting?
Oh yeah, much
Yeah.
more.
That's cool. That's cool. How do you like living around here?
Peaceful. Love it down here in the country.
Along the river.
Oh my gosh, yes.
You like it.
It's
You love it.
unbelievable. Yeah, beautiful place.
Oh, it is.
It's beautiful.
Peaceful. I think you nailed it with that one.
Oh, peaceful.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for talking with me today. How are you, sir?
I'm doing. What's that?
I was just curious. How certain are they that the foundation, uncovered foundation, is the original foundation where the cabin actually was? Do you have any idea?
Which cabin?
Well, I know there were several actually. I know they had 3 or 4 cabins when the Lincolns lived here.
Yeah.
Well, the one they have marked off. I mean, how did they discover that that's where a cabin was?
Well, in 1917, they placed a stone on it saying that was the site. Then in 1930s, some of the ancestors of ours wanted to know for sure, so they moved the stone and done an archaeological dig, and they found the hearthstones and the sill logs, the rotted matter. So in 1930, That's when they took the casting and had it bronzed and then put it back around 1933-35. And it's been there ever since.
One of the nearby fields where the Lincolns cultivated crops here on the Indiana homestead. Beautiful. The Lincolns lived in southern Indiana for about 14 years, from the tail end of 1816 up through the beginning of 1830 before they migrated up into Illinois. They were no doubt very formative years for the future president. Years 7 through 21, this place absolutely left an indelible mark. He came back one time in 1845 to visit the area and was known to have said, "My childhood home I see again and gladden with the view. And still as memories crowd my brain, there is sadness in it too." I can only imagine the sadness the Lincolns left behind. Abraham's older sister Sarah died here in childbirth in 1828. She's buried next to the Little Pigeon Creek Church about a mile away from here. And of course, Abraham Lincoln's mother, Nancy Hanks Lincoln, died here 10 years prior, October 5th, 1818. In fact, that's her grave right behind me. And those that wrote about Abraham and his mother years or long after Lincoln was gone always said the same thing, that they were very, very equal and similar in temperament, intellectually, morally, and both very, very kind creatures. Best as we can tell, Abraham Lincoln was very much like his mother, Nancy Hanks Lincoln. He was just 9 years old when she died. She died of the milk sick. The milk was poisoned. The cows were eating this plant, a white snake root plant that poisoned the milk, and half the settlers here died. They didn't even know what was killing them till years later. Anyway, that's part of the reasons why the Lincolns left here and moved up into Illinois. I want to thank Ann and Larry Manley today, my friends I met today in Tell City, Indiana, who welcomed a complete stranger up onto their porch, up into their world, and I thought that was really, really cool. And that's exactly what I'm hoping happens when I visit these small towns, that I'll discover small town treasures and families who still live in the same house they grew up in, like the Manleys, like Ann Manley. It was a fascinating experience for me today. It was just like hitting the jackpot. I hope it was for you too. For the Mystery Man, I'm Don Radeball. We'll see you in the next small town and or historical adventure. Thank you so much. I sure appreciate all your support. It really means a lot. Thank you. So right down the street from Lincoln's boyhood home is the little town of Santa Claus, Indiana. He knows when you are sleeping. He knows when you're away. So you know I don't sleep very good then. Yeah? Yeah. Well, then you also know that I've been extra nice this year, not naughty at all, you know. Not buying it? You've heard all this before? Yeah. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. I got you. All right.